We're shifting focus now. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni unveiled a joint initiative to counter terrorism financing, reinforcing their commitment to global security on the sidelines of the G20 Summit in Johannesburg, South Africa. The meeting marks a significant step in India-Italy relations, with both leaders committed to enhancing cooperation. Joining us live on the broadcast is my colleague Aditya Vadhavan with more details on this story. Aditya, we are learning of this interaction between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Italian Prime Minister, and they have spoken about countering terror financing. Could you give us some more details on that, please?
Indeed, we saw during the G20 summit, all the G20 member countries issued a joint statement condemning terror, and now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi meeting Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni. They have decided to jointly work on how to adopt some of the best counter-terrorism practices as to how the terror financing thing could be blocked. This is one of the very, very significant development that has happened on the sidelines of G20 Summit, and indeed, in the times to come, we could expect some robust collaboration between India and Italy, considering the fact that the diplomatic relations between the two countries have been excellent in the past. And, also, let us just put this into perspective that, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi has a personal camaraderie with the Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, and definitely it's a long way to go, and definitely we could expect some robust steps taken to counter terrorism, for stopping the specifically for targeting the terror financing, which is the most important as far as this meeting between the two leaders is concerned. And definitely there's a lot more potential, to achieve between for both India and Italy. Yes, back to Shivani.
Absolutely, Aditya. Please do stay on with us. We have some more news coming in from the G20 Summit. During a bilateral meeting on the sidelines of the G20 Summit in South Africa, Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi and Prime Minister Narendra Modi underlined their commitment to deepen cooperation in critical and emerging technologies, including semiconductors and artificial intelligence. The leaders discussed strengthening Japan-India relations, advancing economic security, and fostering innovation and growth. They also agreed to work together to realize a free and open Indo-Pacific and emphasized that strong ties between the two countries are indispensable for regional and global peace, prosperity, and stability. So, Aditya, we are also learning of the meeting between the Prime Minister of Japan and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. They specifically spoke about artificial intelligence and its importance given in this day and age.
Well, absolutely, Shivani. Considering the fact that, when sometime back Prime Minister Narendra Modi traveled to Japan, he visited the big semiconductor facility in Japan, and definitely also, during his trip to Japan, Prime Minister Narendra Modi talked extensively with the Japanese side regarding how both India and Japan can collaborate in the domains of artificial intelligence, semiconductor, and other emerging critical technologies. So, this meeting between the Japanese side and Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the sidelines of G20 Summit has definitely now, moved in that direction, to implement certain robust measures, as to how a strong Indo-Japan collaboration can be brought in. And definitely there is considerable work going on in that direction. And, we could expect some major breakthrough, because the diplomatic relations between India and Japan have been excellent, and both countries are active members of Quad. And definitely, in the times to come, we could expect some, mutually beneficial deals for Japan. Japan also, during Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Japan also decided to, set up a semiconductor manufacturing unit in India. So indeed, it is a win-win situation for both India and Japan, and it needs to be seen how things unfold in this scenario.
Absolutely, Aditya. In fact, please do stay on with us. We have some more inputs on this story. On 23rd November, Prime Minister Modi also met with the Prime Minister of Canada, Mark Carney, on the sidelines of the G20 Leaders Summit in Johannesburg to review the progress in the India-Canada partnership. The leaders agreed to begin negotiations on a high ambition comprehensive economic partnership agreement aimed at doubling bilateral trade to $50 billion by 2030. Both sides reaffirmed their long-standing civil nuclear cooperation and noted the ongoing discussions on expanding collaboration, including through long-term uranium supply arrangements. Prime Minister extended an invitation to Prime Minister Kane to visit India. So, Aditya, we are finally seeing that the India-Canada relations are now growing, they are taking new heights, and we are seeing a discussion on a lot of things, including nuclear tech and advancement of, financial investment in both the countries. Aditya.
Yeah, absolutely, Shivani. Indeed, this can be seen in the background. Recently when we saw that, Canadian Foreign Minister Anita Anand visited India, she had a meeting with the Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar, and completely, then there were talks, to rebuild Indo-Canadian ties, which has been marred by criticism in the recent years, because during Justin Trudeau's, tenure, there was no action on the fringe Khalistani elements that operate in and around Canada. We saw how there was a big controversy stirred, due to this, the head of the Sikh for Justice terror organization, Guru Patwant Singh Panmoon, when he was, issuing threats to India. So indeed, since this new Carney government has come in place, they have, made an attempt to, rebuild ties with India, and definitely, considering the fact that Carney is an economist, has been an economist by profession, and especially in the light of these Trump tariffs, Canada has been looking towards India. How with a perspective that how Indo-Canadian partnership can grow can reach to new heights. How can it grow? So indeed, there is a lot of potential now for both countries. There were some talks that the diplomatic staff could also be increased at the Canadian High Commission in New Delhi. So, all these things point to the fact that the bilateral diplomatic relations between India and Canada are on the backtrack, are reviving, are, somehow they are on the reviving pitch, and we could see some major improvement in the times to come, and definitely there could be certain mutually beneficial collaboration between the two countries. Sure.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Aditya, for all those inputs on those stories.